Hello, my little boo-boo bear. Do you sleep in a picnic basket? Because you were looking like a stick. But no, for real, I'm glad you're here. You're looking fantastic. Let's just get into reading some Reddit. My 24 male girlfriend, 22 female, and her sister, 20 female, are both pregnant with my children. I got you, didn't I? I read that before and I was like, there's no way. And then it continues, neither of them know about the other. I want to do the right thing. Oh, well, thank God you want to do the right thing now. I have done a terrible, terrible thing. I have made a terrible, terrible mistake. Well, at least we got 4 terribles out of the way because you probably deserve about 1,000, but at least there's 4. I'm really not looking to be judged here. Too late, thud, okay? But I know it's going to come no matter what. I found out the same day about both of them being pregnant. I have been with my girlfriend for 2 years and her sister and I hooked up around 3 weeks ago. It only happened once and she told me she was on birth control. Obviously not. Oh, shame on her, right? What the fuck? But actually, no, wait. Yes, shame on her. It's her sister, dude. My girlfriend and I have been trying, so I know it's mine. Why are you trying to bring another human being into the world when you're actively cheating on her? What the fuck? Her sister says hers is definitely mine because she hasn't been with anyone else in 2 months. I convinced my girlfriend to wait to tell people for a couple of weeks and her sister said she's going to wait for me to tell the family. I need to come clean. I need them both to know early on so I can sleep at night. Oh, so you can get some shut-eye? I'm aware I'm going to be hated by their entire family and possibly all our friends. I'm trying to do the right thing if there even is an option. Any advice is appreciated. Be honest for once in your life, thud. You know, be honest. There's nothing to do. There's nothing. You gotta sit one of them down. I'm gonna say your girlfriend first because she deserves that. Because I mean, she's the only one that doesn't know. Because the sister knows. So yeah, sit her down and be like, I'm so sorry I did this. And then you're gonna be in both their lives. You just fucked up your life. Oh my God, this is crazy. I don't even understand how this could be possible. I mean, I get how it's possible. I know how that works, I think. But like, but like how somebody's mind just doesn't think of the consequences. Crazy. So you're gonna have, wait, if they both have their kid, then your kids are gonna be cousins with each other. That's fucked up. Anyway, maybe sister told the girlfriend that you slept with her, then they planned this fake pregnancy scare to get revenge on you before she dumps you. Oh my God, I hope that that's the case. I hope that that's the case. Or maybe they really are both pregnant and you are so in fact, you may get pregnant this time. I'm going to just upvote your post to increase visibility for you to get feedback. I don't have any specific feedback other than come clean and deal with it. Exactly. Wow. Wait, I would never have even thought of that. My mind just hopes everybody else's life is like a soap opera in like a good way, but also not because it's more interesting. This seems like they found out about each other and now are trying to out you. Wow, I'm so dumb. I'm glad though, because I'm just like surprised. Make sure they're both pregnant before telling everyone. Buy the test and have them do it with you. Plus 3 weeks seems uncommon. Yeah, I mean, you would have just haven't been putting out a lot, right? And they would have had to like ovulate at the same time and stuff. Wow, yeah, it seems unlikely, but I mean, karma's a bitch, you know? I don't know, but thank God we have an update. I debated whether or not to post this, since on the original post, I was bombarded with hate and threatening DMs, including a dox threat. Oh, sorry, nobody should dox each other, but like, consequences of your actions. However, a few people gave some really solid and helpful advice, so this update is for them and for me, bitch. I posted last Friday afternoon. On Fridays, my girlfriend gets off work at 10 p.m. I told her sister to come around 9:45 p.m. because we were going to tell her the truth. She agreed, and I waited. The anxiety I felt was tremendous, but I just kept reminding myself that this was all my fault and nobody else but me made that mistake. Proud of you, thud. When sister didn't arrive by 10, I knew something was up. My suspensions were confirmed when they walked in the house together at 10:15. They sat me down and explained the situation. Oh my God, please. Did they set you up? I hope they did. Sister had come clean to girlfriend, and after a brief quarrel and anger, they decided to fuck with me to see how long I would keep the secret for. Props to them because I was completely blindsided. Get the fuck walk out of Dodge, dude. Girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, was very calm and has sister pack her bag to stay with her. I told her my friends and I would bring her belongings and furniture anywhere they needed me to. She told me she didn't want me touching her stuff and she would be moved out when I get home from work on Monday. Fantastic. Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't even see it coming until they said it in the comments. Thank fucking God, you know? I hope you've learned your lesson. Thud. Okay, next up, my boyfriend, 23, doesn't want me, female 21, to go to my best friend, who's female 22's, wedding. I have no notes right now. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, I don't know what to do because I'm really torn and I understand where my boyfriend is coming from. My boyfriend, Jake, and I have been together for 2 years. We met during orientation for university. Everything is great between us. He's met my best friend, Ella, who is getting married to her boyfriend of 4 years. They are high school sweethearts and I love them both. We were all friends during high school and grew up together. They were also together and perfect for each other. I only dated one other person during high school and his name was Sam. I'm gonna guess Sam's going to the wedding and your boyfriend doesn't want you to go. That's my guess, all right? I really liked Sam. We dated for 3 years during school and spoke often about going to uni together and getting married, but it was young love, and when acceptance letters came around, he ended up moving out of state, so we broke up. I bet you. I'll bet you right now. My best friend asked me to be her maid of honor, and I'm so excited. We've been wedding planning for the past couple of months while her fiance was finalizing his groomsmen, because Sam's gonna be in the groomsmen, and you guys are gonna walk down the aisle together, which doesn't matter. I was surprised when she told me Sam would be the best man. I mean, that was pretty obvious to guess. I don't know why I'm hyping myself up so much. I told my boyfriend about this and he wasn't happy with the idea of me attending the wedding, as Ella accepted each of the bridesmaids and groomsmen to be paired up for activities such as walking down the aisle and the first dance, as well as photos. He didn't like the idea of me doing all those romantic things with an ex-boyfriend. I explained to him that Sam and I haven't seen each other for 3 years, but he said he felt uncomfortable with it. As is his right. I'm not hating on Jake right now, by the way, but I mean, if you're in a, solid relationship, all this stuff seems, it's not romantic. It's like very, I've done the whole walking down the aisle with the person that I get like matched with and you gotta like do the walkout together. It's like a total of like 5-10 minutes, if that. So that maybe Jake doesn't know that. Jake is invited to the wedding, so I tried to say that I would still spend most of my time with him, but he said he still doesn't want to watch me walk down the aisle and have a first dance with someone else. The first dance is odd. I've never heard that before, but maybe that's just me. Plus, he didn't want to have to be reminded of this every time we go over to Ella and her fiance's house, as all the official wedding pictures would be plastered all over the place. Does anyone have any advice on what to do? I love my boyfriend and I understand where he's coming from, but I want to go to my best friend's wedding. Listen, I understand both sides, but I think he needs to be more understanding and more trustworthy. Like, he's gonna be there. Like, that's his own problem. If he can't deal with seeing you in a photo with another person, like, because you were asked to be in the photo, it's not like you're willing or like you suggested it, it's just the way it is, yeah, I just think he's being a little bit of a drama queen, to be honest. Let's see what the comments say. All right, if he's going to be jealous of something so dumb and cause you to miss your best friend's wedding, he's not mature enough for a serious relationship. It's kind of how I feel. That is how I feel. Honestly, I've been in several weddings and nothing about walking down the aisle or even dancing with a groomsman is romantic. I mean, the dancing is like just weird more than anything. I'd be like, I don't know. You'll be so busy with the other bridesmaids' duties that those will barely be a blip, but the fact that he thinks he can control you like this is concerning. OP says, I tried to explain this to him originally and say that I would just be doing a job by walking down the aisle and dancing with Sam, but he said weddings are a naturally romantic scene. I feel like he thinks us dancing together is going to be like Damon and Alina at the Mystic Falls thing. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming they like fall in love with each other when they're dancing or whatever. Hey, maybe you do. Another comment says, since when is walking down the aisle and a planned dance romantic? Do not forsake your friend for this drip of a guy. I love Reddit. Let's go to the update. First of all, I read everyone's comments and wanted to say thank you. Even if I didn't respond, a lot of you gave me great advice, excluding the usual Reddit breakup advice, LMAO. Well, I think that advice is still valid, to be honest. I talked to my boyfriend, 23, about it after I made the post and read some of the comments. I took your advice as well and made sure to explain that there was nothing romantic about walking down the aisle with a guy I haven't spoke to in years and having a dance with him. You said you already said that to him, so okay? I also told him I'm going to the wedding and I'm going to be Ella's maid of honor no matter what. Stand your ground, stand on business, queen. We had a bit of an argument about it and he wasn't super excited, but ended up saying he would come to the wedding because he would rather at least be there to celebrate Ella and Luke. And also he didn't like the thought of me having fun without him and him being all alone. You having fun without him. Again, I have a little taste in my mouth and it's icky. Okay. He has a bit of anxiety about that and doesn't like being left out of things, so I understand why he didn't just want to stay home. That conversation was 2 weeks ago, and since then, things went downhill. I always get confused with downhill because downhill seems like smooth sailing, and uphill seems like hard. So I feel like, I'm assuming it's getting worse, and downhill means it's going down. But I feel like in my head, I'm like, downhill, sweet, we're coasting, you know? Anyway, after the conversation, he was initially really sweet, his usual caring self. Then he became overly sweet. It kind of felt fine in the beginning, but when he started making comments and jokes about how he wanted me to remember how amazing he was as a boyfriend, it started to feel weird. It kind of felt like he was guilting me. Oh, yeah. Yep. The guilt trip king. After reading the comments, I started to notice more things too. He always asked questions about where I was going and who I was seeing, which isn't new, but I started to see it differently now. You know, I'm gonna give you the young pass because been there, done that. You know what I mean? Then he started asking more questions whenever I was on my phone, asking who I was texting and what I was saying. Oh my God. Then he started reading the messages over my shoulder. This wasn't that big of a deal since he has my password and I have his, and I don't care if he reads my text since there isn't anything to hide. Now it kind of feels like he's monitoring me. He is. After that, the worst of it came. Whenever I was going out, he asked me to update him, not in a normal way, as in if I was at the shopping center, he would ask me which stores I was going to, what I was eating. He asked me for photos of the food I was having. I thought it was because he wanted to be involved, but I was dumb. He just like slowly has been procuring you to be his little thing that he can control. Some people do that and it's really messed up, and you kind of fell into it, but I'm glad you're noticing it. Anyway, I'm kind of ashamed to say that I did send him all those photos and all the proof he needed for a couple of days, but then I got sick of it. I asked him, why does he need all this information? And he told me, just because I want to make sure. Bitch, what? He didn't really give me an answer. Then, the final straw was about 2 days ago, another argument, this time about Ella. He said Ella was trying to manipulate me into getting back with Sam, that she always had a vendetta against him. I said he was being stupid because if that were true, she wouldn't have invited him to the wedding. He said he didn't feel comfortable with me going. He said he didn't want me to go, and if I did, I was crossing his boundaries and that I wouldn't be his girlfriend anymore because what kind of girlfriend would purposely cross their boyfriend's boundaries? Bye. Bye. I'm gonna go live happily ever after with Sam. So I told him that's okay. I wouldn't want to cross his boundaries and broke up with him. You were all right. He was controlling me. I don't feel happy about it. I feel sad. I feel like I wasted years of my life on someone I loved. I told Ella. She didn't celebrate. She was sad for me too. She said he was nice, but I could do better, and I should be with someone who helps me grow my world, not shrink it to being just them. You know that we're all cheering for you and Sam. I hope there's another update. I don't know if there is. I'm scared to scroll. But final thoughts so far. You live and learn. You know, you live and learn. And it's not years wasted. You can't see it like that. I've had multiple relationships. You know, I see it as time I learned and time that brought me to the person that deserved me and I deserve him. And, you know, you just gotta learn. We're all people and we all learn. And, you know, hopefully he learns from this. Jake learns from this too and realizes he needs to be more secure in himself because you can't control people like that. That's not fair. Is there another update? Oh, fuck, there's not. Damn it. Shit, let's read one more. Why not? Am I the asshole for not wanting to move in with my girlfriend after 2 months? 2 months is quite short. Quite short. Too short for me. I, male 23, think I'm falling in love with my sister-in-law's sister. Okay, keep it in the family. Love it. All right. Legally. Love to hear it. Since knowing her, I've mostly just seen her at occasions like my brother's wedding or birthday parties of their kid. But recently, she's been at my parents' house some more. Usually just because she went somewhere with my sister-in-law and they then come pick up her sister-in-law's daughter before driving home. Seeing her more has been pretty nice, but what probably gave me this feeling was when she played some video games with me. I've recently started playing a game with my brother and sister-in-law, but one day my sister-in-law sent me a text to ask if I was coming online. I said I'd be there shortly and then got a picture in response of her sister with a caption saying she's ready to try it out. Definitely wasn't expecting that, especially after she called us nerds a couple of days earlier when playing. We both ended up having a pretty good time. I explained some stuff and we had some laughs while goofing off. She even joined us for a couple of games a bit later too, and she said she was looking into getting the game herself so she could play when she's at home. She's played from my sister-in-law's place. She also added me on some social platforms, which she keeps pretty private, and sent me some reels she found funny. All this made me start thinking about her more and how I like being around her. My brother, sister-in-law, her sister, and my parents had already planned to go to a Ferris wheel, and after the last few times talking to her, I decided I joined them. The night before, I couldn't really sleep that well, mostly because I would start thinking about seeing her again. I even got the same nervous feeling in my stomach I used to have before an exam or presentation at school. Oh God, I miss those days. I'll tell you what. I found myself happy to be around her again and caught myself glancing over at her pretty often, feeling good inside when she would laugh. I don't even know why I'm starting to feel like this, since she hasn't really done anything to indicate she likes me back or anything. She's done all the things. She's playing video games with you, dude. Right? She's sending you reels. All I know is that she keeps popping in my head and I can't wait to see her again. After reading this, I know it might come across as creepy or something, but I know I latch on to people pretty quickly. I also don't really have anyone else to talk to about this, which is why I'm posting here. No, you're fine. This isn't creepy. This is a crush. You have a crush, son. It's okay. We don't have ages at all. I feel like they're just younger though. Oh, and they are. Because the next update, first of all, you have a crush. It's cute. You guys are gonna fall in love. I love it. Let's just move on to the update, okay? And the next title is I, male 23, have a crush on my sister-in-law's sister, female 21. They're young 6.5 months later, mind you. It started a few months back. I, male 23, had gotten in a habit of playing Fortnite with my older brother during the evenings. Okay, tale as old as time. You just read this, and the sister joined. We know. Since the sister-in-law's sister didn't own a console or anything to play the game on her for herself, last time was at her brother's house, I didn't hear from her for a while. On one hand, I didn't really mind because for some reason I had started to catch feelings for her already during that time and I didn't want to be disappointed like I had been with previous crushes. A few months went by and I heard she had bought a console for herself so she could play with us again. We then either played with the four of us together or separately, and she with her sister and I with my brother. So again, aside from playing with her sometimes, not a lot happened. That was until my brother and his wife both got sick for a few days. I usually started the game and would play alone till my brother came on. However, due to being sick, he didn't come online. It was at the point that I noticed my sister-in-law's sister was online playing a different game mode. Since I thought something might have changed to that mode, I also played it to check it out. At one point, I got an in-game request to play with her. I joined her, and for pretty much the first time, I was alone with her. A tale as old as time. Fortnite love. It was a little awkward at first since we both didn't really know each other, but it soon felt more comfortable. That whole week we played together, just the two of us, both having fun and laughing often. We got to know each other much better, talking about things we like, our favorite music, things we've experienced before, and so on. Since then, we would occasionally message each other about something from the game or a funny reel or TikTok. There was even this one time we stayed up a little too late, which made her oversleep the next day and be late for work. Ever since then, we've been playing and talking almost every day. The feelings I pushed aside at the beginning also started reappearing. I wasn't sure if I was actually in love or if it just felt like that because she's been nice to me. But at one point I knew for sure. She and my sister-in-law wanted to go shopping, but my sister-in-law doesn't like to drive in heavy traffic and her sister doesn't have her license yet. So my sister-in-law asked me if I wanted to drive them. I happily agreed because this meant I could finally spend some time with her in real life. During our trip between different shops, we joked a little at each other. We would playfully poke each other's sides, or she would tap my phone's keyboard while I was typing. Oh my god, this is so cute. When we were driving home, we heard there was a fire burning in a factory not far from where she lives. Oh my god, this just took a turn. She then got a call from another guy asking if she wanted to go check it out. What? They must live in a small town. I kind of get that. I lived in a small town. It's like, the corn factory's on fire. Let's check it out. At that moment, I felt my heart fall down to my stomach just because of the thought of her being with someone else. I'm sorry. The fact that it's just like an event to go watch a burning building is really funny. I hope nobody got hurt. I'm sorry. This is so inappropriate. I'm sorry. I really hope everyone was okay but the way he's talking about it, I feel like it was just a fucking building on fire. At that moment, I knew how much I wanted to be with her and make her happy. After dropping her off, I talked about my feelings for her with my sister-in-law, to which she, sorry, I just keep imagining just like people in their pickup trucks just lining up, just watching this go on. After dropping her off, I talked about my feelings with her with my sister-in-law, to which she said she kind of had a feeling already. She then said that her sister is really comfortable around me and that she's completely herself and she thinks it might work out one day. I literally picture that little girl, that little meme where she's like, Like she set it on fire that's burning in the back. Curry, you know what I'm talking about? Put it on screen. That one. I have no idea if she even has feelings for me or that she's seen me as only a friend. I haven't really flirted with her or anything. Maybe some small compliments at most because I don't want to weird her out. She has had a couple of relationships in the past, but they didn't work out. Her last boyfriend would hurt her and made her cut all contact with her family and friends. Oh, what an asshole. He sounds like the last guy. Because of this, she said she doesn't really want another boyfriend. On the other hand, she often posts reels on her Instagram story about people being a happy couple and stuff like that. So here I am now wondering if she likes me or not, if she's still too hurt to think about a new relationship, let alone enter one. Damn. Well, I'm just gonna keep reading like this is just a one post. Oh no, the next one is called Not Her Type. So I have had a crush on my sister-in-law's sister. My sister-in-law has tried asking what she thinks of me before, but she didn't really give an answer and just laughed it off. Apparently she asked it again recently after we hung out some more, and she now said that I'm not really her type, but she would like to stay friends. Oh. Next title is I, male 24, year older now, think my sister-in-law, her sister, female 27, would be interested in a relationship with me, but I don't know if I have the same feelings for her. What's happening? You loved her. What do you mean? In the last year, I, male 24, have been gaming with my brother, his wife, and two of her sisters, Cecil, female 21, and Serena, female 27, on a regular basis, ranging from a few times a week to every evening, depending on everyone's schedules. There's another sister? Wait, because the other one was younger than you, right? It was. Do you have a crush on the other sister? You little cheeky bastard. Okay, I'm just gonna read. In the beginning of the year, I had a crush on Cecile. Okay. First of all, we need to bring that name back. That's a fantastic name. I would often play alone with her late into the night, having some nice conversations as we gamed. I felt happy when I was talking to her, bummed out when she couldn't come online, or if I couldn't see her, the usual stuff when you have a crush on someone. I would talk to my sister-in-law about her from time to time, and she would sometimes ask Cecile how she felt about me or if she was into me or not. At one point in the last few months, Cecile had apparently said she was not into me, which you would think would make me feel bad, but I wasn't really too heartbroken about it. Since getting to know her better, I realized we didn't really fit together as well as I had originally thought, so my feelings had already started to fade away. We love a confident, secure king, okay? Now, enter Serena. Oh my god! All right. She had only started gaming with us later in the year, around the time where I still had a big crush on Cecile. When my sister-in-law visited, Serena would often be with her because they were either going or just went somewhere together. During those visits, people around me commented on how Serena looks like she's into me, and through certain things she said or did. I hadn't really noticed, as I'm pretty oblivious to stuff like that, but eventually noticed some things that did indeed point to the direction of her liking me. By the end of the summer, the gaming sessions had grown few and fewer since work and school started again, and it would often end up being just my brother, his wife, and myself. A few weeks later, Serena would start texting me fairly often to ask if I was coming online to play or not. Wow, Fortnite really just brings people together nowadays. What a different sign. Sometimes it would be just the two of us, which was a little awkward at first, since she seemed much older and mature than me. I've had this in my mind because I first met her when I was 17, and although she was only 3 years older than me, it seemed like a much bigger gap since she already lived on her own, was married, had a child. She's married, has a child, like now or like previously. As we talked more often, got to know each other better, and generally got more comfortable around each other. The mental age gap I had started to fade away, and I felt like I could really be myself around her without worrying much about what I had to say or do. We would both start to tease each other more, make jokes, and even make more sexual innuendos. She stated multiple times that she is fine with them and makes some herself too. I'm gonna safely assume she's not with this other person anymore. She has also said some things like, "You'll have to come over for nachos," or whatever, and gives a reason like to look at or setting up her PlayStation or to look at a controller that hasn't been working well. I bet her controller hasn't been working well. The buttons are stale. The way she said it, I always took it as a joke and kind of laughed it off, but apparently she actually meant what she said. A few weeks back, she started talking, asking me about my past relationships, which is very short topic since I've never been in one, a relationship that is, and if I've had crushes in the past and that sort of stuff. She then talked about hers and what she's looking for in a new relationship, among other stuff. Okay, good, she's not married right now, that's good. Normally, I wouldn't really think anything of it, but at one point she said she would have to get to know me better before knowing if she could be in a relationship with me. I was kind of taken aback. since I hadn't really considered it before, nor did I have feelings for her. I didn't really go into it much further besides saying it's normal to want to get to know someone better before getting into a relationship with them. You're very mature for your age, sir. Since then, she started texting me more often. For instance, before going to bed, when getting up, and some other stuff during the day. Oh, she's so into you. She's so into you. She also started adding exes, oh, she loves you, to the end of her messages. I'm sorry, I have to pause. I did this when texting Caleb, like when we first started talking, or like very shortly after we first started talking, and he didn't know what that meant until I lived with him. He's like, yeah, why did you always put exes at the end? I'm like, those are kisses. And he's like, oh. He didn't know I liked him for so long. I didn't really send any back, since I didn't want to send her the wrong signal, until one day she called me out on it. I explained to her that I felt a little weird sending them, since I haven't ever done so before, and I didn't want it to come over the wrong way. She then said it wouldn't, and I have been sending them to her as well. So this Friday, we planned to go watch a movie at her place. Since she wanted me to come over anyway, fix her controller, or whatever. It was mostly so we could hang out as friends and get to know each other better. But since she's been sending me exes, talking to me more often than before, I feel like we've already gone past just friends. She's an amazing person, but I don't know if I feel in love with her, and I don't want to hurt her feelings by potentially leading her on. I do feel a physical attraction to her, but don't have the same feeling I had with past crushes. You mean her sister? Okay. Besides that, I fear I'm mistaking the love and affection I get from her for being actually in love. There's also some other stuff like her having 3 kids already. Oh yeah, that's a big factor, and me not knowing if I'm ready for that. All fair points, King. You're doing good. How can I be more sure of what I want or what I should do without hurting her in the process? Wow. Just be honest. Just do what you're doing. You're being so open with your communication, just saying like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to send the wrong signals. Like we can hang out as friends. I would just, if you're not feeling it and you don't think you're going to be feeling it, I would just maybe just like mitigate the contact a little bit more than you are. But if you like could see something, then maybe just ask her if it's okay if you move like extremely slow and just have no expectations and just lay that all out. But I think you're doing great so far. There's another update, so let's just read it. I, male 24, don't know if I should start a relationship with this girl, female 27, who's into me. 1 week later, my sister-in-law's sister, female 27, Serena, has apparently had feelings for me, male 24, for a couple of months. So it goes on, it kind of repeats everything that he already said, and then we get into her asking him over and we get to know what's going on there. So I'm going to start there. At one point, she asked me to come over to her place to watch a movie so we could get to know each other a little better as well. I accepted her invitation, but also doubted if it was the right choice or not. She had talked about how I sit/lay next to her and stuff like that. I, of course, got excited about that thought since these are things I always wanted to do. On the other hand, I was still unsure if I should do it or not since I was unsure about my feelings for her. The day I was supposed to go over to her place, my parents and brother had talked about her to me, mainly telling me to be sure if I wanted to start something with her in the first place or not. The thing they worried about the most was that she already had 3 kids that would also become part of my life if I were to start a relationship with her. Of course, this was something that had me thinking for a while too, but I decided to focus on less at first. Those talks made me realize I probably wouldn't be able to handle having them around constantly, so I had decided I'd have to tell her that. That night, I went over to her place and we watched a movie together. Like she said, she laid very close to me, which felt so good. After the movie, I figured that it was time to tell her, so I said that I don't think a relationship between us would be possible because I wouldn't be able to take care and love her kids the way someone should. You're 24 years old, you're doing good, bud. I also repeatedly said that it's not her fault at all, but solely mine. I stayed a little while longer to see if she was okay before leaving. I know I probably should have told her sooner and shouldn't have let her on. I also didn't want to hold off on telling her since I feel like that would have made it even harder on her. I felt terrible afterwards because I know I hurt her, but surprisingly, she texted me like nothing really happened. We even gamed that same day, during which she asked me some more questions that could help her give a place. I was relieved she still wanted to be friends. We would tease about it, but I'd gladly take that. However, after a couple of days, she would start sending me kisses and hearts again. This time I didn't send any back because I didn't want to give her any wrong signals. And one day while talking, I could tell she was upset about it. I felt so bad for her and wished I could do something to make her feel better. Oh, you're just a good guy. You're a good guy and she just wants love, and it's just you guys just need to She needs to stop doing that. You need to just be like, hey, we really can't. You can't be sending me stuff like that. I think you need to pull out the, well, if you pull out the uncomfortable word, then she'll probably just stop talking to you altogether. But maybe that's what needs to happen. We'll keep reading. Since then, I've been thinking constantly if I made the right choice. I think her kids would be an issue for me, but how can I know for certain? It's also not like I'd have to go live with her right away and have to take care of them all by myself. I also keep thinking about her, how I can be myself with her without having to worry about saying something wrong. She's usually the first thing I think about after waking up. Will I have a message from her or not? But then my doubts start piling up again. Do I actually love her? Will I be able to love her kids like they are my own? What if I still want kids of my own? What if I were to try it and it doesn't work out? Will that hurt her even more than never trying at all? I mean, not everybody has to go through this, but these are all very responsible questions to ask yourself, because especially with kids in the picture, that affects them. And I think it's very thoughtful that you're thinking about this. I'm at a total loss right now. On one hand, I would love to be with her since she makes me feel good. I laugh when she's texting me and I feel physically attracted to her, but on the other hand, I'm afraid she's not the one for me and I just might hurt her even more. Would love advice. But there's more updates, so I'm just gonna keep reading. I, male 24, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, female 27, about 2 months. I've known her for a couple of years, but we really started to get close in the last year. We know this. We know the lore, okay? In the beginning of our relationship, I would only go over to her place during the weekends. This soon changed to also going over during the week, and right now I'm usually only home one day of the week. She has been living alone since she was 18, while I still lived with my parents. We have a very good bond and it's a lot cheaper than living alone. Since she's used to living alone, she has already started looking for a place for us to buy together since she's currently renting a place. I feel like it's too early to be looking to buy something together because we've only been together for 2 months and are still getting to know stuff about each other. However, when I brought this up, she started questioning me whether I have doubts about the relationship. And when I said no, that it doesn't matter, then whether we'd been together for 2 months or 2 years, you're okay. She's wanting to just be secure and in something where she's happy and secure and you're not there with her yet. And that is totally normal and totally fine. And I think that's very responsible, especially with the fact that she has kids. And she should be thinking about that too. Like, she has kids. Like, to be moving in with somebody that you've met, that you've only been dating for like 2 months, you know, it might work for some people. I'm not saying it can't work, but I'd be a little bit more cautious about that, I think. But maybe I'm wrong, and you can let me know if I am in the comments. I'm going to keep reading. This ended up in a discussion about a couple of things. The first being if I really want to live with her and build a future with her. I said I really do, but it doesn't have to happen so quickly for me, that I prefer to enjoy things like they are now, at least for the time being. Since we've only been together for a short time, I feel like if we were buying something together and things do take a turn for the worse between us, we would be stuck with a house we'd have to sell, probably at a loss, putting us both down financially. That fear also comes with several discussions we've had about how close I am to my parents. She fears that I will never truly be able to let them go. I do have a very close bond with them. We've been through a lot together, and throughout all that, they've been the only people I have always been able to rely on. So moving out to go live with someone I've only been together with for a short time feels like I'm dropping them for someone I don't know all that well. Since she's been living on her own for so long and doesn't have a good bond with her parents, so she doesn't really understand me in this. I do get where she's coming from. When she's in a relationship, she will do anything possible to make it work and doesn't go into thinking it could end. She also wants stability for her and her kids. Of course, that's what I think. However, I did say before starting something with her that I'd take things more slowly and didn't want to rush into anything. Okay, yeah. So I think she's kind of pressuring you into moving way quicker than you want to, and now she's making you feel guilty for it, and it doesn't sit right with me. I'm also not saying I don't want to live together, but I feel like buying something right now is not a wise decision. I really love her and I would love to build a future with her, but I feel like we'd have to get to know each other before taking the next steps. You are 100% right, in my opinion. I think you're doing all the responsible things. I think she's just infatuated with you, and maybe she's just the personality type that's just cool with moving forward and she's more go with the flow. But I feel like you can be like that, but when you throw kids into the mix, you gotta pull that back a little bit. I think, okay, we have another update 1 week later. Let's just get into it. Thanks for all the reaffirmed comments. I forgot to mention a few things which I'd like to clear up as well. The moment I was there pretty much the whole week, I helped paying for stuff like groceries and takeout. When we went somewhere together, I also paid about half of the time. Last week, I even paid for a new pair of shoes from one of the kids since she was running out of money by the end of the month. She did ask me to loan it to her and said she'd pay me back when she got her salary. Besides that, I also help her around the house. I can do vacuuming, doing dishes, changing bed sheets. She does most of the stuff though. I also saw some people say that she was looking to become a stay-at-home mom while I provided for them, but she actually just got a degree and started a full-time job. Now that that's cleared up, I'll continue with the actual update. We already had an appointment with the bank to see what price range we should be looking at. I thought it'd be interesting to know already, even though I didn't really want to buy a house yet. So we went there and got the info we needed and went back home. She started looking at some more houses. She would show them to me, and I never really said much about them or asked to go look at them. A few days passed and things were pretty normal. We didn't really talk about houses much, so things felt like they were at the beginning and I could just enjoy being with her. Everything was good until Saturday evening. She was already annoyed by some stuff that happened throughout the day, by her kids were acting up, so after we put them to bed, we had a conversation, and at one point she got mad at me. The first thing she brought up was something stupid about my hairdresser. She had talked about me needing to go to a different one, which I didn't really want to because I don't like changing stuff for no reason. She then said I couldn't keep everything the same like how I'm used to if we want to start a family together. Then she brought up houses, how I never really say much about them, and how I'm insistent on one specific town I want to live in, which is not something she wants because she wants to live closer to her kids' school. By the way, I totally get her point of view, but on the one hand, the kids won't go to school there forever, and there's also a school bus that could pick them up at the town. Okay, well, yeah. All right. She then started throwing out that the only reason I want to live in town of my choosing is because my parents live there, which is not the case. However, I do see that as a bonus. Sure, it's your family. You could feel like that. It was during this conversation I said I didn't really want to buy a house together since I thought it was too early. She then took this as me not seeing a future with her and me not being able to be independent without my parents, and then said that it's mainly because I want us to learn more about each other first before making a commitment, since there were already things that bothered us about each other. Yeah, if it's already happened at that point, I don't know, bud. She then asked what those things were, and I brought up that she always acts like I can't do anything without my parents. All right, so this is a very long post. He just talks about how he like goes to pick up bread from his parents' house like once a week, and he just like just normal family stuff. Like it's really normal. He's basically just like, at one point she said that she didn't even want to live together anymore, which got me thinking, what was I even doing there? I tried to explain that I might want to try renting first, but she didn't really say much about it. A few other things were said after that, but we then went to sleep. And then the day after, they barely spoke to each other. And by the end of the day, we started talking a little again, and she talked about the renting I proposed by saying it's just a lot of thrown away money and how she would lose her social benefits from being a single mom with 3 kids. To me, this was clear enough that she didn't want to do it then. At this point, I was seriously wondering how things would move forward. We've started having a discussion again where she said everything always has to be how I want it, and I don't care about her and her kids. This is bad. Saying how she can't have a conversation with me because I either don't reply or give short responses. However, talking to her was very difficult since she often took things I said the wrong way, or she just wouldn't accept what I was saying because it was different than what she thought. She also said that I'm making her unsure because of how unsure I am, but my uncertainties tend to come from my overthinking, something I struggled with my whole life. You're kind of overthinking in all the right ways, from what I'm reading at least. There's always 2 sides to every story. The next day, I started seriously thinking about how I could continue after this. I started realizing how different we are and how we both want other things. One of us could probably change, but that would make them unhappy in the end, and even so, it would probably lead to other problems in the long run. Eventually, I realized it would be better for us to break up. I ended up talking to her sister about it, someone who I knew would see both our perspectives and had helped clear certain things up between us already. She agreed that it was probably for the best, since both of us are just very different in a lot of ways. Since I was staying at her place that day, she had a late shift and I was looking after her kids, I might have been best to say it right then and there, but I just couldn't. She was already tired by the time she got home and had to get up early the next day. Besides, I still love her with all my heart, and it broke me thinking about hurting her, so I just couldn't say it. The day after I was going home anyway, like we agreed on before, I was feeling miserable all day, not even sure I was going to make the right decision. I was so lost in my thoughts, I could barely focus on my work. At the end of the day, I went home crying my eyes out, knowing what was going to happen. My parents and her sister were home, and I talked to them about it a little more, and they helped me come to terms with my decision. I was wondering how I would best say it, since I didn't want to do it over text, but doing it in person would just result in me crying and not being able to say anything. I tried explaining everything as best I could, saying how she's a wonderful person and she deserves someone who could make her happy without making her uncertain like I did. A while later, I got a response from her saying that I didn't really love her because if I did, I wouldn't have given up already. She also guilt-tripped me by saying how the kids were starting to get attached to me. girl. But that it's not my problem anymore and how I basically didn't care about them anyway. Also saying that she never asked me to change and how I shouldn't ask that of her if I really loved her. She did ask you to change. She asked you to stop seeing your parents at all. I tried explaining things, but at every turn I got a new response blaming me for everything. So in the end, I stopped responding. I still really love her, which made the decision even harder for me to make, but I just couldn't see us getting over our differences. I do hope she finds someone who can make her happy, someone better than me, because she doesn't deserve anything less. You're gonna make somebody very happy one day. I just know that in my soul, and I hope she finds somebody that will make her happy and that will want to move at the same pace as her and all that kind of stuff, and will work out. But you're gonna be all right, kid. You're gonna be all right. Very emotionally mature person. Yeah. And also, for that to be your first relationship, that's a lot. Most first relationships aren't like that. They're not with a person that's already been married and that has 3 kids and that wants to move into a house in 2 months. That is so much to process, and you handled it very well. I really have no notes, and I think you're best off to find somebody that can really appreciate the very wonderful human being that you are. But yeah, I feel like he just has a little bit of a small world, and he plays video games, and these are just people he knows from his sister-in-law and from his brother, and they were just in close quarters, and he was comfortable with them, and I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Some of the comments are like, does he not date anybody outside of this? It's like, some people just don't get out. That's hard to believe. Dude, if I didn't meet Caleb by a whim, I wouldn't be dating my sister's brother-in-law. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't be going out. So I don't know. I don't blame him for that necessarily. Either way, hopefully, the breakup does stick and you just go focus on yourself for a bit. You learned a lot from this relationship. Let me know what you guys think. Though I'm a YouTuber. What do I know? But yeah, I'm tired. That was way longer than I thought it would be. But you guys have been asking for longer ones, so here it is. I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye.